Well, here we are again. We're going to continue talking about, the whole car hobby and how it's kind of, it's not doing so great. Let me get myself a little better. There we go. I like that. Okay. I did a video here talking about how the whole car culture is kind of dying. It's in trouble. Wouldn't necessarily say it's completely dead yet, but it's in trouble. And one of the comments that kept on getting repeated over and over and over again during that whole thing was about greed, about greedy people selling cars for a lot of money. And I get it, but I had said before in a follow-up video of this one about, how it can be saved, that, greed as itself is okay, because when you ask for things like a raise at work, or you do work for someone and get paid, for a profit, there's some greed in that. The part of the thing with greediness, though, is, just because a car is X amount of years old, I want $100,000 for it. It's something laying in a yard because it's a heavy car. That's greedy in a bad way. But nevertheless, so what I'm going to do today, I'm going to explain why cars are so expensive. I'm going to show you. I'm going to take a subject car, and I'm going to price out restoring it. Nothing crazy, and I'm using everything. You could find all the information online. I'm using all the parts, the labor. It's all very universally accepted. And so here we go. So first, the subject car. I figured a '69 Roadrunner would be a great subject car. They made a lot of them. I know Mopars very well. They share a lot of body parts with other B bodies. It's not a unicorn car. They make a lot of reproduction stuff for it. Very simple, straightforward, big block, muscle car. And that's why I picked it. And I looked and looked and looked. And I looked, and literally the cheapest one I could find, and I'm talking under 20 grand, was this one right here. It was $10,000. And you go, oh my God, $10,000 for that? The car is like in pieces. Well, the whole body is there, and the engine and drivetrain are in it. And he has all the seats and stuff. So the car is pretty much there. And if you look, I have this from Collector Car Market Review. I've been using this for years. You'll see that this is a hardtop, and it's 20,500 number 4. But number 5 condition is what this is half of that, 40% to 50% of that. And you can see right here, 50% of that is 10 grand. Maybe you can try to knock it down at 1,000, but I doubt it because there's no other Roadrunners near this price. And this is one of those things where when you feel the need to comment, drop those comments below, because this is going to get kind of interesting. I want to hear your feedback on this, because if you haven't done a car for a while, or you've never done one, this is going to open your eyes. Like, seriously, open your eyes to just how expensive it is to make a car, kind of like what I have. It's not easy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down. I made a spreadsheet, and this is what you should do anytime you restore a car now. You should put a list of all the parts you're going to need in a spreadsheet, just so you know where you are, keep track of stuff, and it ends up not being something that's in pieces in your garage. So on this, first $10,000 of Roadrunner. Now we're going to buy exterior parts first, because we want to get it so we can get it to the body shop before we start getting the interior put in the car. And this is the parts we're going to need. I'll list them out here. Here is the body panels and other parts that are going to be needed to do the actual body restoration of the car. Okay. So that's $11,310. So we'll just go at 21 grand. We haven't built anything yet, and we just bought a bunch of parts we needed. You see where this is going? So then we have all the body parts. Okay. Now, I guess I'll go to the engine, since we're gonna take it to the shop. We're gonna pull the engine out of it. So we're gonna pull the engine out ourselves. Now, everything I'm talking about is like you can do the work, like me. You do the work, not paying someone to take the engine out of the car, take transmission out of the car, put stuff back together, except like more complex things. This is a person restoring their own car, having experts do work on things that experts can do, like painting and engine machining. So that's where we're going on this. And remember, that time's not even accounted for in this price. So you pull the engine out. This engine's been sitting open like you see it. The machine shop's going to do everything to make the block and heads back to normal. The one thing I would do is get rid of those headers and buy original exhaust manifolds. It'll just make things easier for you, and a new exhaust. Now now we've added another $8,200 to the 21. We're at 30,000, and we don't even have a car yet. We just have an engine that's assembled and a transmission that's done. That's all we own right now. You're gonna buy it when it's in the body shop. We're gonna do the suspension, because we've already taken the engine out. You need to take suspension. So the suspension. There's a complete rebuild of the suspension. Plus, I also included wheels and wiring and miscellaneous parts. The car says it comes with a painless wiring harness. You could probably sell that for maybe $50. I would never use one of those in a car. They're pain. I just call them pain in the ass. There's no rhyme or reason to the wiring. The colors don't mean anything. If you ever have to trace a problem on it, you'll never find it. If you use a stock wiring harness, they're not that expensive. Even the dash one, which is massive on these cars, it's $800. It's been $800 for 20 years. You literally take it and attach it. You don't have to think or do anything. And if you ever run into an issue, you pull out your service manual, and there's the schematic. Easy peasy, very simple stuff. So, I've gone through a bunch of stuff here just to get the car where we have a roller when this part's done. So let me know so far what you guys are thinking, because this has gotten expensive, because doing that front end is $7,000 more. So now we're over $35,000, and we have what could be a roller, right? Well, we don't have any body work or anything yet, so we have the pieces for that. So let's do the interior, because while everything's getting painted and worked on, you're going to buy the interior stuff and get all that done. The car is missing most of the interior, so we're just going to go to Legendary and buy everything you need for it. That adds another $6,700 to this. So we're at, what, $45,000, and we haven't even painted it yet. We've done nothing. So, and this is where we go to the bottom. All right, this is your service, your experts doing the work. So installing the sheet metal, I figured 30 hours. I asked my friend, it's about 30 hours. At $125 an hour, that's pretty cheap. But we got $3,750. So it's about $4,000 of body work. Trying to hammer out those corners and that, you're going to spend a lot of time. It's easier to cut and just put the new ones on if they're that bad, and they are that bad. The inners look fine. Then it also needs to be media blasted with baking soda, do soda blasting. That's about $500. Then to paint the car, it's about $18,000, I figured, and that's on a rotisserie, priming the whole thing, getting at least a couple layers of paint on the bottom, using an enamel, no clear coat, do like original, very simple. Over the long term, easier to take care of, because my car's enamel and this is a 20-year-old paint job. So that's 18 grand. Well, I'm guessing about, it can be either way, but 18 sounds about a midpoint to paint a whole car. And then we have installing the windows. That's the front and rear window. That's $500, because it uses a gasket, and I sure as hell wouldn't want to do it myself. And installing the seat covers and the headliner. If you haven't done it before, it's a lot of work. I figured about $1,000 to do that, but you'll never need to do them again. Kind of good. So looking at now about $67,000 total with the car and everything. So we have $57,000 of parts and labor. 57 on this car. But you go, Dennis, you bought a car that was derelict, that wasn't running. Okay, well, here's one right here. This car is a runner. It's $28,000. It's a nice color. It's original color. Beautiful blue. But the car needs paint. Car needs front bumpers. It needs a fair amount of stuff. I figure it needs like $18,000 less work than maybe $20,000 less than the one that's 10 grand. You have a car that will cost about the same. Even if you take away $20,000 from the 57, that's $37,000 on top of $28,000. And that's just from kind of glancing at this and not looking too tight. It may need, 18,000 less, or it may need a lot more than we think. The car runs, but we don't know if it needs engine work. It needs to be painted, and it's going to need to be taken apart to get that painted. So now you're dealing with stuff that's going to be breaking. So you're still going to be above 50,000. You're still going to be above 60,000, and that's starting when a car's driving. So you have to take things perspective. This isn't 1984 anymore. We all wish it was, because that's when you could buy Superbirds for $5,000. Nice Superbirds, low mileage ones. This is 2024, and to have a nice car that you don't have to restore again, last as long as you live, because that's literally what my car's going to last, as long as I live. I mean, honestly, unless something weird happens, because it was done right. Now we were just at that point where it just costs this much. Now, hopefully, a lot of the things can come down in price. I don't know how much, through 3D printing. Anything that's molded or whatnot, injection molded, whatever. If it's 3D printed, probably cut the price down. But the price of paint, unless something changed with that, paint's very expensive. It's extremely expensive. And all the chrome and things of that nature are extremely expensive because of rules. So now we have, and sheet metal, metal itself is expensive. So this is where we are with this. And so I don't think you should really begrudge anyone that is trying to sell a Roadrunner for $70,000. That's beautiful. If it's a fully restored car that you can look underneath it and go, wow, that's clean, and it starts and drives beautiful, and you can bring it to a car show and people stop and look at it, that's a good price for that car, considering how much it costs to get one from scratch. It's just insane. It really is that nuts now. And the reason I didn't pick a Charger, and I mean, I'm a Charger guy. The reason I didn't pick a Charger, because 68 through 70 Charger, it would have been maybe 10 grand more, because you're dealing with the hidden headlights and the grills, which are extremely expensive and complicated and just so much work. And even if you convert it over to electric, it's still a lot. And then you have more rust issues in the back of the car because of the flying buttress kind of back stuff on around the rear window. Those sail panels, they rot. There's always going to be rot in those cars, unless the car was always. But if you're buying it cheap, it's going to be rotted. It was repaired once and it was done bad. You're dealing with very specific and Chargers 1 year only each time, and it's for one model only. While Roadrunner, it's satellite. So it's the same fender as the satellite, same fender as the GTX. It's a lot cheaper to buy. They're $1,000 a piece, brand new. That ain't bad. But the good thing is this car didn't need a trunk and it doesn't need a hood. That's awesome, actually. So, and it's a drum brake car, and I left it that way in my mind because, hey, if I want to convert it to disc, I do it later, but I want to get the car done. You have to always remember you want to finish the car. I've seen so many projects because they start going on side paths and they end up having the car just kind of not done because they got over their head. Doing it this way, bring it back to stock, makes it very simple, straightforward, and you can understand what you're getting into. So there's that. And once again, comment. And if you liked it, hey, hit that like. Even if you just kind of liked it, hit the like. Subscribe if you're getting something out of this. I have 100 and something other videos. I mean, I love cars. And what happens on this channel is real. It's truly what I do. I actually sit down and do this type of stuff when I look at cars on eBay. I literally figure out how much that's going to cost to fix. Once again, thank you. And if you have a cool old classic car or something fun to drive, take it out, because you will make someone's day, maybe even your own. And actually, this happened to me on Saturday. Somebody actually got out of their car when I was driving my Charger and was out of his mind. Wow. And had to shake my hand and thank me for driving it. So with that, I will leave you, and I will catch you real soon. Bye for now.